Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome contestant number 7 to the stage, Colin Williams. With his speech, Wizards. Wizards, Colin Williams.
Contest Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to being a handyman, my grandfather was a wizard. My father was also a handyman wizard. My brothers, David and Michael, handyman wizards. It is for this reason that I believed I might have been adopted. Because I am not a handyman wizard. I am the opposite of a wizard, and the opposite of a wizard is, I'm going for goblin. I am a handyman goblin. For example, 20 years ago, we moved into our brand new home, and on day one, I plugged our landline into the wall, picked up the receiver, no dial tone. That's not good. So I got on my mobile to the builder, and he said, yeah, what you're going to have to do is dig a 2-foot deep trench from the junction box near the road. Let me stop you there. We purchased a complete home, and a complete home has a telephone line. It's like saying, oh, there's no roof on the house, but if you just pop those tiles up there, this, my friend, is not happening. Within half an hour, he was round digging the trench himself. And I phoned Telstra, and they said someone would be around tomorrow morning to connect us up. And they were, bright and early. And the first words this technician said to me were, where's your conduit? Conduit? He said, conduit, it's a thin plastic pipe that the cable goes through. I said, I know what conduit is. The definition of the word is not the problem here. The problem is, no one told me I needed conduit. You need conduit? No conduit. He said, oh, I'll have to go, and I'll be back sometime next week. Unless I connect the cable from the roadside to the house, you go and get your conduit. When you get back, cut the cable near the house, feed the cable through the conduit. I'll make it a couple of meters longer than it has to be, just to be sure. Feed the cable through the conduit, cut off the extra 2 meters, and I'll give you some joiners to join the back up again. What could go wrong? He connected me from the roadside to the house. I went inside, picked up the phone, dial tone, I'm a happy man. When I arrived home with my conduit, I went to the shed because I'd need some tools. Some wire cutters to cut the wire, a Stanley knife to trim the wires, and a pair of pliers to crimp the wires back together again. I cut the cable near the house, fed the cable through the conduit, cut off the extra 2 meters, then I had to trim the wires. Now the cable contains 2 wires, and what I had to do was trim the plastic off these 4 wires to leave the bare copper wires. That was an interesting 45 minutes. Punctuated by not 1, but 2 visits to the first aid cabinet for Band-Aids. And I find it hard to put into words my lack of dexterity. But I want you to imagine an elephant trying to peel a soft-boiled egg. That's what it's like. So I've trimmed the wires. I put on the joiners, crimp them with the pliers. I go inside. I pick up the phone. Nothing. That's not good. So I think I'm going to have to phone Telstra back. They're going to have to come out sometime next week. They'll probably charge me extra money. Or I could give my brother Michael a call. Maybe he can help. So I phoned Mike. He came straight round. I took him to the scene of the crime. He surveyed the situation. Then he put his arm on my shoulder and said, Colin, why is there a cable coming from your house connected to a 2-meter offcut? Within 15 minutes, the problem was solved and I had a dial tone. Now, you'd imagine at this stage, I would owe Michael one. But that's not the case because we were even. 2 months earlier, Michael got married. And 3 days before the wedding, he came to me to run his speech by me. And his speech started like this. When I was a young man, I only ever dated beautiful women. But that all ended when I met Linda. That's not good. You see, Michael is a speech-writing goblin. Now, I may not be the wonderful wizard of wit, but I do have a way with words. And we sat down and we constructed a speech that earned him not only a standing ovation, but the eternal love of his beautiful wife. All of us are wizards at something. But at the same time, all of us are goblins at something. And what we have to do is, in situations where we are the goblins, we should reach out to the wizards in our life for help. And in situations where we are the wizards, we should willingly share our wizardry with our goblins. This is how businesses thrive. This is how clubs thrive. This is how families thrive. Speaking of families, there may be some of you who are still wondering whether or not I am in fact adopted. The answer is no. My mother explained it to me. She said, Colin, look at it this way. If we had had the choice of children, do you think we would have picked you? That's not good. Contest Toastmasters. Thank you.